now call upon Professor Alan Downey, the College Orator, to present for admission to the Honorary Fellowship of Goldsmiths College, Mr. Rob Da Bank and Mrs. Josie Da Bank.
Chair, I present to you Rob and Josie Da Bank for admission to the Honorary Fellowship of Goldsmiths University of London. Co-founders of the multi-award-winning music festival Bestival, held annually in the Isle of Wight, and Camp Bestival, located in the grounds of Lulworth Castle in Dorset. Together, they've transformed the way in which such events can be orientated towards the family. We all go as a family to Camp Festival, Josie explains. Rob and I take both sets of our parents, and all of our friends come too. And if you look in the front row of the audience today, you see it's true. Robert John Gorman met Joanne Linwood when they arrived at Goldsmiths as 18-year-old undergraduates in 1991. Rob was reading French, Josie fine art and textiles, and they'd been given places in the same hall of residence. Rachel Macmillan in darkest Deptford. Rob explains that they found it exciting to be in southeast London, however, hanging out where the Ragga Twins recorded, meeting Fabio and Groove Rider, and going to dirty raves. We went clubbing 3 or 4 times a week, living the London life, going to places that we couldn't possibly afford, or blagging our way in, standing for hours in queues to get into gigs. But it wasn't just the London music scene which was important. Goldsmiths completely opened my eyes, Rob maintains. I think it was, and probably still is, one of the most culturally diverse and enriching places you could go to. Romance blossomed. And when Rob went to France for the year abroad, which was part of his degree programme, Josie interrupted her studies so that she could go with him. Thus they graduated together in 1995 and walked across the stage at the graduation ceremony, just as you have done, graduates, today. And as it happens, we had faculties in those days, and I was Dean of the Faculty of Arts, and so I read out their names as they went across the stage. Rob had been DJing in the Students' Union while studying for his degree, playing hip-hop, funk and soul. Towards the end of his time at Goldsmiths, he started Sunday Best, a weekly Sunday night left field club playing electronica and chill out in Battis's Tea Room des Artistes, featuring hitherto unknown artists such as Groove Armada, Lemon Jelly and Bent. But they did it together. We started it together, Rob explains. I do the music, but Josie's the creative vision on everything. Josie did all the artwork and illustrations for Sunday Best, as she did for the record label when Sunday Best Recordings released Rob's first compilation album in 1997. As a consequence of a stint of work experience, Rob was working as a music journalist for the dance music magazine Music at the time, while Josie put her organisational skills to good use by becoming the youngest female bar owner licensee in London when she opened Kokomo in 2000, the year in which, I understand, Rob proposed to her at Glastonbury. In 2002, they took Sunday Best to Ibiza and then on the road, taking in Glastonbury and Creamfields with Groove Armada, Goldfrapp and Norman Cook as guests. Rob's Radio 1 career began the same year when he was invited to do a pilot for a Saturday morning left field show. Widely regarded as one of the most influential platforms for new music in recent years, the Blue Room quickly took off, and Rob was subsequently asked to fill in for John Peel after his sudden death in 2004, before being invited to host the One Music show on Thursday nights. Then, in 2006, Radio 1's Left Field show was launched as the Rob Da Bank Show on Sundays. And Rob stayed with Radio 1 until he moved to Radio 6 Music in 2014. During these years, he also developed Sunday Best recordings, as well as making his recording debut as an artist as part of a duo with Dan Carey, with the release in 2004 of the album Penguin Rock by Lazy Boy. A beautiful mess, he calls it, incorporating R&B, pop, funk, soul, house and chill out, featuring collaborations with Lee Scratch Perry, Roddy Frame, Estelle and Earl 16. And a track from the album, Police Dog's Bonfire, was used for an international advertising campaign by Vodafone, and other Lazy Boy tracks are featured in CSI and Hewlett-Packard commercials. The first Bestival, attended by 10,000 people at the Robin Hill Country Park on the Isle of Wight, hosted by the Cuban Brothers and headlined by Fatboy Slim, Basement Jaxx and Milo, was in 2004. The co-founders and partners were Rob and Josie, and John Hughes and Ziggy Gilsnan. Rob and John had the idea, according to Josie. They found the land and the funding, she explains, but they didn't really have a clue what they were doing. So Josie stepped in and organised things as creative director and producer, coining the phrase boutique festival. Organising Bestival is now more or less Josie's full-time job, I understand. Numbers attended have grown to 50,000, and in 2015, Bestival was named Best Major Festival at the UK Festival Awards. There have been offshoots over and above Camp Bestival, which won the Best New Festival Award in 2008, the year in which it was launched, as well as the Best Family Festival Award in 2009, 2010, 2013, and 2014. The first Toronto Bestival took place in 2015, and there will be another this year. In the same year, 2015, Josie launched House of Bestival in partnership with Ziggy Gilsnan, an event consultancy, creative production company and prop hire agency, combining consultation services for marketing, experimental and live event briefs. And last year, she organised Radio 1's Big Weekend, the launch party of Nile Rodgers' Chic album at the Roundhouse, and Kylie Minogue's British Summertime gig at Hyde Park. Rob also has other fish to fry, explaining that in addition to Bestival, I've got the publishing company, I've got the record label, I've got the DJ gigs. And he maintained on the phone to me that I'm a party DJ, really. That's what it's all about. However, he's also just started to write what he calls his first proper music score for a film, something he tells me he's always wanted to do. Chair, I present to you Rob and Josie Da Bank for admission to the Honorary Fellowship of Goldsmiths University of London.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit to you both the Honorary Fellowship of Goldsmiths College. Josie?
Thank you.
Yeah. I call upon Mr. Rob Da Bank.
I want my money back. There's nothing in it. It's a fix. Crikey, that was really quite excruciating listening to that, but thank you for that absolutely lovely introduction. Lords and ladies, mums and dads, fellow students, my kids, be quiet down there or dock your pocket money. Stop it. Big up, maximum respect to the warden of the college, the council, everyone from Goldsmiths for having us. A great honour. Wow, this is not what my Thursdays normally look like. This is kind of terrifying. So I'll keep it brief because I'm sure we'll want to get out of this ridiculous get-up and get down the pub. Congrats to you all for making it this far. No mean feat in this day and age with such a tricky system against you. All the pressure's on you. It should only take about 20 years to pay it all off as well. But you made it. Bravo. Going back through the mists of time, back to 1995, I vaguely recall this same moment. The selfie sticks weren't here, the kind of high heels weren't quite such evidence, but it was in fact Alan Downey, the same Alan Downey who shook mine and Josie's hands back then, and we're all still here breathing, which is nice. But I don't want to bore you with personal facts about my pedestrian life, but I have been told to, so tough. Josie and I met shortly, as Alan said, after starting at Goldsmiths in the dining hall at Rachel Macmillan over a sausage or something. We've never looked back. 24 years of marital bliss, eh, Josie? But seriously, Goldsmiths was a huge turning point for both of us. Big up our mums and dads sat down there on the front row who brought us to Goldsmiths. Actually, my mum and dad were busy on holiday, so my sister brought me. And dropping off a naive 18-year-old white middle-class boy into Deptford was quite an education. I went from drinking half a pint down the local sailing club where I grew up and puking up everywhere to staying out for 3 days and nights with half of New Cross and then turning up for lectures looking a little bit bedraggled. I was not the model student. But that's the beauty of Goldsmiths. I hope and I think that they still encourage that social side of things as much as the work aspect, and kind of realise that a well-rounded education, possibly involving going out all night and then doing some work, can reap rewards. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that the cultural landscape of the UK would be in a much weaker position without Goldsmiths fighting the corner of the artists, the music makers, the free spirits, and the general creative vagabonds. So many crazy things happened to me during my time at Goldsmiths, including being mugged and taken to the Wimpy on Deptford High Street for a burger with my mugger with my own money. One of the high points. I got locked in a tumble dryer. Drum and bass was kind of born while I was here. We danced semi-naked through Trafalgar Square during the poll tax riots, and we slept in this very hall as part of a sit-in protesting against, well, I can't remember, and that's the typical student for you. So, straight after Goldsmiths, Josie and I roared out of Deptford, brimming with ideas, daft haircuts and student loans. Quickly set up a club, a record label. Josie set up one of the first bars in the area that became trendy Shoreditch. I somehow landed up on Radio 1 and we set out to conquer the world, launched the festival Bestival, and the rest is a minuscule part of history. But that is the sort of spirit that Goldsmiths injected into us, me and Josie, and I hope into you. Without this place, I promise you we would not have achieved half as much as we did. So praise be to Goldsmiths. Long may you stand proudly erect in New Cross and educate others as well as you've educated myself and Josie. Final words of advice from me are be nice to each other, don't be late, be yourself, don't be a copycat. It might take 10 years to find that sweet spot and succeed. It did for us. But hang in there. Extroverts need introverts and vice versa. Avoid undercooked chicken at festivals and Jaeger bombs and let your freak flag fly. Congratulations again to all of you. Now let's party.